Hey fellas. Yep. Well, I got yesterday's video posted early enough. The problem was I didn't, well, I got it posted on YouTube early enough, but I didn't get it cross-posted on the Wizards boards till like 3 or 4 in the morning, something like that. I can't remember. I got home late. I mean, real late. Gotta say it couldn't be helped. Yeah, I suppose it could have, but hey, you know what? I was hanging out with people I really haven't hung out with much in a long while. Good times. So anyways, Mirrodin Besieged. Looking at the artifacts. Anything else that might be hiding in this pile, right? Copper Carapace. It's cheap enough to cast. The equip cost is what really makes me think I'm never really going to use this in Constructed. I mean, the other drawback is that the creature can't block. That wouldn't be so bad if the equip cost was lower. As it is, though, in draft it's not bad. Especially if you can get your hands on some Brass Squires. Flare Husk, it's... You know, the living equipment is a nice little mechanic. It's spiffy. For example, the Flare Husk, it's 1 colorless mana effectively for a 1/1 black creature that when it dies, you can pay 2 to give something else +1/+1, you know? I mean, it's almost like a black spike in a way, you know, if you recall the spikes from Tempest Block. But, yeah, it's not bad. I mean, I don't know if the Flare Husk itself is Constructed playable, but it's not bad. Shriekhorn would be better if it weren't... It would be better if there was a way to recharge it. I mean, as it is, it's Ghetto Millstone. Tap it and remove a charge counter for 2 cards off the top of your opponent's library. Comes in with 3 charge counters, no built-in way to recharge it. So, okay, you pay 1 mana to mill your opponent for 6 cards over the course of 3 turns. Not impressed. Signal Pest, on the other hand, is something that does impress me. It's a 0/1 battle cry that can't be blocked except by creatures with flying or reach. So for most purposes, it has flying, and it's got battle cry. I mean, that's pretty nice. It's got an evasion ability. If you throw an equipment on this bad boy, there's a good chance he's getting through. Got a Skimmer. It's a 2/1, optional flying. I'd never play him in Constructed. In draft, even in draft, he's sometimes questionable. Ichor Wellspring. I was mentioning stuff that makes you sacrifice artifacts. This is a nice artifact to sacrifice. It's 2 colorless. It hits the board, you draw a card. It leaves. It goes to the graveyard from play. You draw a card. That's some nice stuff. It's practically cycling, you know? Good stuff. Mortar Pod. I've only got 2 of them. It's uncommon. In draft, it was really good on creatures with Infect. I don't think it's seeing any real competitive play. Living Weapon. Equipped creature gets +0/+1, and you can sacrifice the creature for 1 damage target creature or player. Equips for 2. It's okay, you know? It's okay. That's pretty much the limit of it, too. Mirrodin is a pain in the butt. It's a 1/1 for 2 colorless. When it dies, it replaces itself with a 1/1 mirror token. Pain in the butt. Plague Mirror. Hey, you know, it's a really only... I know I have more in the deck somewhere. But yeah, it provides colorless mana. It has Infect. It's a 1/1 for 2. It's not bad. It's not Great. Silver skin armor. Equip creatures +1/+1 and is an artifact. It's nice if you need a metalcraft enabler, because it counts, it's an artifact itself. It turns whatever it's equipped to into an artifact. So that's 2 right there. The big problem, of course, is that for an artifact heavy block, there's also a lot of artifact removal running around in the block, which is a nice change from the original Mirrodin, where you didn't have a lot of artifact specific removal in an artifact heavy block. You had the exact opposite problem. It was kind of funny too. I mean, it's just like the original Mirrodin. It's just like they reprinted Terror in a set where it was almost useless. But yeah, silver skin armor it's a mixed blessing. Sphere of the Sun. It's a comes in tapped with 3 charge counters. You tap it and remove a charge counter for one of mana of any color. Not bad at all. It's a little bit of an accelerator, a little bit of a color fixer. Mirrodin Claws is a card that I tended to underestimate, or rather never got my opportunity to get my hands on very frequently. A lot of people would snap them up before I would. Equipped creature gets +1/+0 in first strike. Honestly, it's the first strike part of that that's really nice. The +1/+0, meh. But there's only like 2 equipment in the block that grant first strike. This is one of them. That's the long and short of it. First strike's a good ability. Brass Squire is freaking credible in draft or shield deck. The ability to, at instant speed, to reassign equipment from one creature to another is really awesome. I doubt he's constructed playable, but he's funky. Dark Steel Plate, indestructible itself, makes the equipped creature indestructible. It's basically a, for most purposes, I want to say it's a slightly improved version of Shield of Cauldron. Except, of course, this thing can't be used as part of a set to bring out a redonkulous token creature. Unlike the shoulder artifacts. Phyrexian Digester, it's a 2/1 infect for 3 mana. Doesn't really impress me, but he's okay. Piston Sledge, on the other hand, is really a nice card. It's 3 mana to give a creature +3/+1. When it hits the board, it attaches itself to a creature, but its equip cost is sacrifice an artifact. If you have an artifact worth sacrificing, like say the Inkwell thing, I don't remember what it's called. I'm gonna go nuts if I can't remember it. Ichor Wellspring. Thinking Inkwell for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, but yeah, if you have Ichor Wellspring, for example, here's a nice little sack outlet for it. Piston Sledge will turn something small into something big. It'll turn something medium into something that needs to be dealt with now. Spin Engine, 3/1, pump red, target creature can't block it till this turn. In limited, that's almost unblockable. I don't think he's ever going to see any real play in Constructed. Titan Forge, 3 mana, tap it, put a charge counter on it, tap it and remove 3 charge counters, put a 9/9, colorless golem artifact creature token on the board. It's meh. It's never really impressed me. Most of the time I've seen it in like draft or limited, it gets shut down real fast. Training Drone, it just plain is horrible. Never touch it unless you can't help it. Bladed Sentinel, it's a 2/4 with optional vigilance. It's alright. It's nothing special. Bone Horde, it's basically yeah, Bonehorn is basically a Lurgoyf. Or Mortivore, whatever, you know. Well, Mortivore had regeneration. Lurgoyf didn't. But yep, Bonehorn, it's a living equipment. Yeah, quick creature gets Lurgoyf. He's a Lurgoyf. It's alright. Core Prowler. It's a 2/2 infect for 4 mana. When it dies, you proliferate. That's not bad, really. I mean, the fact that you proliferate when it dies is the part that makes it more or less worth 4 mana. I don't know if it sees any constructed play. I'm not sure. I mean, it's kind of high on the mana curve for an infect deck, you know? Decimator Web, it's a cute card. I don't know what to think of. It's 4 colorless, 4 and tap. Target opponent loses 2 life, gets a poison counter, puts the top 6 cards of his or her library into their graveyard. Decimate means to kill 1/10. So most of the time, at least in constructed, that really is 1/10. Oh, excuse me. Dross Ripper, he's a 3/3 with an overcosted version of the Shade mechanic. That is, you know, he pumps +1/+1. Not keen on him. I mean, he's playable in limited, but otherwise not keen. Magnetic Mine, whenever an artifact is put into your graveyard from the battlefield, deals 2 damage to the artifact's controller. It's similar to Dingus Egg and Dingus Staff. The egg did it for lands, the staff did it for creatures. This does it for artifact. I hope that in playtest the original version of this card had the word Dingus in its name. I'm guessing that because the player base is predominantly teenage to early 20 and college age males, that they didn't feel having the word Dingus in the name of the artifact was a good idea anymore. They didn't feel like having a bunch of a bunch of the player base just sitting there and giggling at the word Dingus. I don't know. Peace Strider, he's a 3/3. When he hits the board, you gain 3 life. It's alright. Not fantastic. Nothing to write home about. Rusted Slasher's a 4/1. Sack an artifact to regenerate him. It's another sacrifice outlet for the Ichor Wellspring. Skinwing, living equipment. Quick creature gets +2/+2 and flying. For an artifact, paying 4 colors for a 2/2 flyer, not all that bad. The equip cost of 6 is kind of prohibitive, though, which is unfortunate. Mirror Turbine, hey look, you make mirror. It allows you to recur a mirror from your, to search for mirror from your library. Put it onto battlefield. Oh, that's not bad at all. Yeah, I picked those up out of prize pools. I never actually saw them play much. Psychosis Crawler, it's basically it's a Morrow with a built-in do some damage to your opponent, more or less directly mechanic on it. It's not bad. Though I don't think I'd pay 5 mana for it. Strandwalker, basically you're paying 5 colors for a artifact for a giant spider, really. The equip cost of 4 is once again kind of high, though. Tangle Hulk, he's a 5/3 regenerator for 5. It's not too bad, though. It's playable. I know that's a scary word. It ain't playable. Lumen Grid Gargoyle is a 4/4 flyer for 6 mana. I wouldn't play him. I mean, it's too much for too little. I mean, don't get me wrong, a 4/4 flyer is nice and all, but I don't know. Now, the Phyrexian Juggernaut, on the other hand, is a 5/5 infect, must attack each turn if able for 6. Okay, the Phyrexian Juggernaut don't look bad. I mean, he's not fantastic, but a 5/5 body with infect is pretty impressive. He also looks very, very similar to the Razorfield Rhino. Just saying. I don't like the Razorfield Rhino. He's a 4/4 that gets +2/+2 on Metalcraft. Meh. Thopter assembly does funk. It's a 5/5 flyer for 6. During your upkeep, if you control no Thopters other than itself, return it to your hand and put 5 1/1 colorless Thopter tokens onto the field. 1/1 flying, colorless, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's so much stuff. Hexplate Golem, I don't like him. I don't like him at all. He's a 5/7 for 7. Whoop-de-doo. Who cares? Spine of Ishsa is a nice card. Currently trying to put together a deck built around this. Technically, I'm going to pull this one out and put it in a trade binder, though, because I have all the spines I need. What else? I know I have some non-basic land from this set. I believe the Ink Moth Nexus was in this set. It's a variation on the Blink Moth Nexus. It's a cute card. It turns into a 1/1 flying infect. It's what we refer to as a man land. It's a nasty card, in demand. People like it. The Contested Battleground, if I recall the name of the card correctly, the card that gives all attacking creatures +1/+0, but it swaps controllers if damage is dealt to its controller. It's a ho-hum card. I suppose it's really good in aggressive decks, but outside of that, no, not really. Even in aggressive decks, it's kind of a mixed blessing, because in my experience, I've found you use it once, and then it just keeps swapping controllers back and forth, and never untaps again, because it's not in anyone's control during their untap step. Alright, well, that pretty much finishes up Mirrodin Besieged. Gonna start laying in some new Phyrexia tomorrow. Call this video done. Start uploading. Get posted later today. We'll post it on the message board. Alright. Catch you guys later. Be good.